Hello and welcome back to Hollow Pond Solo Sagas, and today we will be playing our fourth episode of our solo, using a whole bunch of solo tools, game of Cyberpunk Red. So yes, Cyberpunk Red, I'm very much enjoying it. Now on our fourth episode, we had that big combat last episode where Owen and Miriam and Timu faced off against the executive that the Steel Girls, who I kept calling the Silver Girls, the Steel Girls, paid them to go and see. I think that went okay. Combats obviously go a bit long, but this week we will try and deal with the after effects of that. If I remember rightly, based on my notes, we rolled a foreshadowing event, so we need to kick that off, and that's that something, someone's going to warn us that something big is coming, because we do know that after that we'll have a cliffhanger of we're going to encounter a monster somewhere. I think I know where. So this is to do with Miriam has been accused of doing a hit on the garden patch of a minor celebrity called 24/7, who I got out of the Danger Girls dossier book as just an edge runner, as another edge runner. And so that's our overarching sort of story that we're going to do our beat cycle. We have been accused of doing something that we haven't done. It's not really caught up with us yet, so no big deal. We do know that from that event, that what it was the 24/7 solo has basically got it in for us, or Miriam precisely, but in by relation us, for this attack on 24/7, and we have this little mini arc that we'll play through and see if it works using a beat cycle off the back of a table that I've produced and that you should be able to get, should be available to you, which has the hooks, cliffhangers, development, and so if you sign up to the newsletter at my newly created website, I'll send you that PDF, as I've also added on another table to do with randomly finding areas within Night City and a random encounter within certain districts within Night City. So we have someone needs to come and give us this foreshadowing. We also, Miriam got injured by the Netrunner and thus needs to rest until the 28th. We need to go and speak to the Steel Girls, but because of her injuries, we need to fix the deck. So we did that hit on the 26th. Miriam needs to, which is a Monday, Miriam needs to rest on the Tuesday and can be up and about again on the Wednesday, because you heal your body in hit points each day of rest. And Miriam was down enough hit point. I think she was down 12 hit points. And with a body of 7, it means she needs at least 2 days of rest to get full hit points back. So we'd say that we would all sit around resting on the Tuesday, and possibly Tuesday, Timu, as our fixer, would put the word back out to the Steel Girls that the job's done, we need to get paid. Now, one of the things that we haven't done much, apart from come up with the name of the Steel Girls, is actually make any decisions over what sort of gang they are or how they are. Now, I managed to get my hands on, from Doppelganger Publishing, by purchasing it from DriveThruRPG, the Urban Gang Generator, and a few other of Doppelganger Publishers' tools as well. But I thought what we'd do at the beginning of this session is, first off, we'll run through the process of generating the Steel Girls as a gang within our environment, and then we'll go visit them. Now, probably Timu and Owen will go and visit them, leaving Miriam back home to go and talk to them. This is where we might have the foreshadowing happen, and then Miriam is going to attempt to fix her deck, and if she succeeds in fixing her deck with the bits and pieces, so I think you could do that and rest, so she can sit at home tinkering, trying to fix her deck at home in the container, a cargo container, which is based in Old Japan. So we're in Old Japan. Let's find a map. Here we are. I'll probably hold this up. Actually, I'll just put a map up. I'll put a map up on the screen now and show you where it is. But it's Old Japan, which is here. I don't know which map I'll find, but we're in this Old Japan region here, specifically using the supplement cargo containers and cube hotels We are staying in the precipice, which is right on the edge of the hot zone in Old Japantown. Now, Old Japantown is a combat zone. So basically it means if something goes down, you can set off as much gunfire as you like. No one's calling the police. Other gangs might get involved, but the police aren't turning up. So if you do a dice pool in a combat zone to see if something happens, the police aren't turning up into the combat zone. So let's go through, before we do the foreshadowing, we'll generate the Steel Girls as a gang, see what they're like. So we know a couple of things. We know that we didn't generate the name of the boss of the gang, but we did generate the name of the partner of the boss, which is Clementina. We don't know what the boss's name is, but we do know that their partner is Clementina. They are the Steel Girls, so I'd imagine them being cybered up a bit. So let's go through generating our gang. We've got the gang name is done. The gang type. Let's randomly generate what the gang type is. That needs D20, which of course. So the gang type, cyberspace private investigators. All right, I'm not going to take that one. I'm going to say this. They are cyberware smugglers, because that works with the executive, and it also works because being Steel Girls. So these are, it's on the list, it's number 11. It also would be why Owen's in touch with them, because maybe he got some of his cyberware off them cheap, and they would like that. So what have we got? So next is aesthetic. The one that stands out is of course black leather and polished metal. Recognition signs, most of these use D20s. Let's do choice number 2, which is a cybernetic snake tattoo. So it would be what they'd have tagged around their area, which is where Owen and Timu are going to go imminently. Gathering places. Let's roll a D20 for gathering places. 1, cybernetic eclipse, an underground bar. Okay, that is cool, because that will work with, that works well with the bit that might be where they'd be attacked by the solo. The cybernetic eclipse, we will put that in Japantown. So that's where Timu goes and meets them. We won't bother with their, let's roll core value anyway, just for the giggles. Technological supremacy, okay. They want to be the main cyberware smugglers in Night City. So I don't know, so I'll segue a bit. So I don't know if you know much about the economy in the Cyberpunk Red setting, but basically due to the Fourth Corp War, various different things, especially to do with transportation and distribution across the world, have broken down. Now, because of that, what that means is you can't go, so whereas Cyberpunk 2020, you could go to shops and you could go and buy things, there are far less of those shops available for you to go and visit. So lots of things are distributed via night markets or little shanty markets. Basically, you will go and buy your tech, high-end tech, from a dude who may have it set out on a rug or set out on a stall in a makeshift market that's come up. Maybe like you'll hear that there's a market on Thursdays and it will run for a while and then it will go down and go somewhere else and come up again. So, or you'll go and meet someone, or a fixer like Timu, you'll know someone who can speak to someone like Timu, and Timu will get something for you using a load of the nomads, because nomads took over a lot of the shipping when the various different corp actions took place, particularly when Night City went up, when Arasaka set off the mini-nuke and Arasaka went up. A lot of the modes of transportation broke down, and the lines of transportation that which then bring things. So things were being made and in warehouses, but they're stuck there and they can't get to the people that want to buy it. So though corporations advertise that things are available and advertise that you can purchase things, the actual distribution networks aren't there. So to get hold of cyberware, it wouldn't be necessarily easy. It's there, but trying to get hold of it is difficult. So for the Steel Girls to try and become the central place in Night City that you would get cyberware from at a reasonable price is not beyond the realms of possibility, because that would be, so for instance, for Miriam to go and buy parts for her deck, she would have to she couldn't just go buy it online and get it delivered, or she could, but it would cost too much. It would just cost too much. So to get it at a reasonable price, you'd have to visit night markets, which is one of the things that we said about her setting. she wants to, and now I'm going to refer to the book Black Chrome, she wants to get in with the three-piece joint, which is a night market run by three-piece above the bar, the Short Circuit bar in Little Europe. And so the Short Circuit bar is a bar from the original 2020, which is in the hot zone, but got destroyed in the hot zone, and so now has sort of relocated in name to a place within Little Europe. Above that, so the two partners who run it, three-piece is the front, and I can't remember the name of the person who is Brian? I can't remember the A and the I. One of the two. It's either Brain or Brian. Is three-piece's partner, and they run. I think they've got an adopted daughter as well. They run the Short Circuit and the three-piece is joint, which is a night market above the Short Circuit, which is a Netrunner bar, and then you can get loads of high-end gear at good prices at three-pieces bar, a three-pieces joint. But to get into that night market, you need to have a direct invitation, which is what Miriam, one of Miriam's drives is to grow up in the Netrunner community and be accepted into a place like that. At the moment, she wouldn't stand it, but she might have to go to the Steel Girls at the Cybernetic Eclipse bar, like a dive bar in Old Japantown, to try and get stuff. So that's where Temu come. I went off on a little sideline there. That's why Temu would be visiting the Cybernetic Eclipse, because he's then trying to build up a cadre of people that trust him to get cyberware, and to source it, you need to work with people like the Steel Girls. And obviously, they were trying to put pressure on a corporate exec, maybe to give them information about where they can get. Oh, I'm going to write a note. A job. So if we roll for our next sort of job, it might be to sort of grab some cyberware for the Steel Girls, which might be off the back of that executive might have given the Steel Girls some information, making this up as I go along, giving them some information, and then we'll be employed for, I don't know. That might be quite interesting if it's some sort of car chase heist, because I did one for Twilight 2000, that's quite good, and I've also got some maps, and I bought some mapping software at PAX. I might be able to do something like that. Anyway, I digress. The Steel Girls. So they want to be the main cyberware smugglers in Night City. All right, let's go founding members. Let's roll a founding member, and we'll use the name that we come up with. 17. Neon Shadow. It says a hacker with a strong moral code. No, but we're just going to call it the person, like her, their name is Neon Shadow. They are the leader. We're going to skip the foundation, current structure, current leaders. We've done that. Motivation of current leader. 5, engage in a quest for I reckon their motivation is want the Steel Girls to be the main cyberware smugglers in Night City. Organisational structure, internal power struggles. Let's roll, see if there's any power struggles going on. 8. Control over new technologies divides gang. See, they could be drawn between either cyberware or, I mean, we do have, there are high-end pharmaceuticals which give you an edge, which we haven't looked upon or touched upon yet, but we might need to do that, which would be seen as game-based drug use, which we would not be sort of advertising or encouraging, but it is part of the Cyberpunk Red setting, and also part of most cyberpunk fiction, be it film or written. It does mention, I mean, Neuromancer bangs on about usage big style. I don't know if you have read. If you haven't read Neuromancer, it's old school, it's traditional, you should definitely do it, even though the opening lines of Neuromancer no longer stand to be true, where he uses the classic descriptive phrase, the sky was like a channel tuned to a dead station, which of course in the old time, a TV channel tuned to a dead station would be white noise, it'd be grey and speckly and all sorts of stuff. Nowadays, a channel tuned to a dead station goes blue, which would be a nice blue fresh sky, so completely different descriptive tense. Anyway, perhaps this gang is divided over doing cyberware or high-end enhancements. What would they be called? PEDs, wouldn't they? Performance enhancing. PEDs. I'll call high-end PEDs. We'll refer to them as that, high-end PEDs. So that's the Steel Girls. So we've got the Steel Girls, and we will have, for this time, we're now on Tuesday. Miriam is back at the container. What's the weather like? Because we'll run through and we'll do the weather, and then we'll see if they go. So let's say, so we are still in September. Tuesday is 5. It's warm. It's a warm day, about 21 degrees centigrade. So we've got Tuesday, which is the 17th, I believe, 27th. Miriam will attempt to fix her deck and stay in. Owen and Timu are going to get tooled up and visit the Steel Girls for payment. And that's where we might get, then why would they? Well, they might just go out, mightn't they? On whatever the day they get hit, they might go out. Hit by the monster, they might go out. Once we've rolled the foreshadowing, we will then roll the next development to then lead our cliffhanger into. So let's have, so first off we'll have Miriam is going to attempt to spend some time. So whilst they're getting tooled up and they're getting ready, Owen's checking his armour, as is Timu. They're reloading their weapons, and they're getting ready to go out into the combat zone, in which case we'll roll for an encounter. Miriam is going to attempt to fix her deck. Now, it's actually on page 140 of the core book in a sidebar, item repair. The DV amount of time it takes to repair a damaged, destroyed item with tech skill to perfect condition is based on the price category of the item. Now, Miriam's deck was a Cyber Deck 7. Cyber Deck 7 slots. So a Cyber Deck with 7 slots. What is a Cyber Deck with 7 slots? A Cyber Deck with 7 slots is a standard quality Cyber Deck. A standard quality Cyber Deck, call it premium, which would be 1 day DV 17 rather. So Miriam needs to make a DV 17 tech roll. So her electronics and security tech is a base of a 10. She has tech tools, which doesn't give her a plus, but what it means is she doesn't get a minus, I think, because she's actually using professional. This feat takes professional level training. Yeah, DV 17. I'm professional to fix it, so she doesn't get a plus because if she could get hold of some a tech scanner and some tech tools. So if she fails this, she's going to have to go get a tech scanner, which is going to cost £1,000. Tech tool, yeah, well, you know, like what's a tech bag do? So we will say that Miriam is going to use her electronics tech skill. Now, can she do a complementary roll, cyber tech? So she's going to try using a complementary roll using her interface skill, which is her interface skill plus her tech, gives her a base of 11. She needs to get a 17 on this, and if she gets a 17 on this, then she gets a +1 to actually fixing it. So this is her knowledge of net running. She's going to attempt to do as a complementary skill to get that first. So she has a base of 11. Okay, so that gives her 12 minus 5 as a 7. So she fails. So maybe the burns and all the effects of getting burnt is causing her to have issues. So now, so she doesn't get a +1. So now she's going to be spending the day trying to fix the deck. She's got a base of 10. She needs to roll 7s. 9. Oh, cool. So she gets 19. So she spends this Tuesday fixing the deck, and she fixes it. So she gets her deck up and running by the end of the day. Now, during this period of time, Owen and Timu will go out to see the Steel Girls at the Cybernetic Eclipse, which is in Old Japantown. Now, first off, they will leave they'll leave the container area and start heading across Old Japantown to go and see them. Now, Night City is spread out and Japantown is a combat zone. So I've done a little table to roll for an encounter when traversing through a threat. So first off, so I don't know whether to do it as Timu will roll streetwise, and if they fail the streetwise, they'll get an encounter, or let's roll an encounter and then we can see from that encounter whether they get to avoid it or not. So I think it's more interesting that we roll to see if there's an encounter. No, let's do the streetwise first. Streetwise, and if they fail streetwise, then there's an encounter. So basically, Timu, I think Timu's got the best streetwise. Timu has a streetwise of 11 base. Owen has a streetwise of 8 as base. So Owen is going to attempt to do, so this is every day, which is a 13. Owen is going to try and roll a 13 to give Timu a +1, complimentary. So that's 8 and 4 is 12. Owen fails. So Owen is too wrapped up in his own lack of remorse, impulsivity and poor behaviour controls. So Owen is not acting streetwise. Owen is big and brash and he reckons he's hard and wants to prove himself. And so Owen is trying to get his reputation up on the streets and in fact, if anything, wants to have a quick fight. Timu is less inclined. So Timu has an 11 as his base. We will say it is a combat zone. So we'll give him a 15. So he needs to roll 4s. 2, failing. Okay, that would only just have hit an everyday of a 13. So they fail to keep a low profile and potentially will encounter something. In a combat zone, I thought a 1 to 4, so a 40% chance that they will encounter something. A 4, okay. So they're going to encounter something whilst trying to make their way across to the cybernetic eclipse bar. Now, what we will use is we will refer back to, actually, let's use the encounters from the actual core book. We'll do a daytime encounter from Night City. It advises in the combat zones, you might want to ignore low end scale below 50. So blue, 95. What have we got with 95? Major criminal, you've walked into a major operation of ruthless Valenco syndicate, a number of solos equal to the players -2. So we'll say 1, armed with a very hairy pistol and shotguns and wearing heavy armoured -2. All right, yeah, so there's a unloading contraband out of a truck. They're led by a veteran solo. Roll a d10. They don't notice you. They do notice you and warn you off. They decide you're a witness and go after you. Solos use the security operatives. All right, so we're wandering across. Where is this one? So we've wandered across Japantown to a back alley area where the cybernetic eclipse is. We have seen 98. So there's a regular bus, all armoured up, goes past where there's a bunch of kids start throwing rocks at it. That's my ex-wife tells a story about where she used to go to work across Sydney, and it'd go through an area and it would constantly get kids would throw rocks at it. That's what's happening here in Japantown. Then we see 53. Pizza drone, delivery drone comes overhead, which distracts us as we turn a corner, which is just on the other side of where the Steel Girls are based in the cybernetic eclipse. And we just turn a corner. They're chatting. Owen and Timu are chatting to each other. Owen's saying, "Shall I shoot down the pizza thing?" Timu's going, "Oh, look, let's just go get our money, and then take some food back." And then see how Miriam's doing. All right, let's not cause any problems. So let's turn the corner and there's a truck is being held up, which stupidly they must have got lost, or their map tracking has been hacked. So they went through Japantown, the combat zone. It's a truck selling, what shall we say they're selling? What's in this truck? There's a thing here for target item. Let's roll percentage. And this is for a job generator. 68. Artificial intelligence. All right, we'll go up to. It seems to be some sort of medical truck, pharmaceutical truck. It's half loaded, and as we come past, I'll make a note of this because we've run up against the Vishilenko syndicate. So there is a veteran solo and one normal solo with heavy pistols and shotguns. They've held up this truck and they're unloading so the normal solo is unloading a certain number of things as the veteran solo is looking around and basically acting as watch. This is whether they don't notice us, they notice us and tell us to get lost, or they engage. 9 and 10 is engage. 1, they don't notice us, okay? So we turn the corner, they're unloading into the truck, they don't notice us. Timu, let's roll Timu streetwise. We'll give them, they didn't notice, so we'll say it's every day for Timu to have, or we could have Owen's combat awareness. Owen's combat awareness, which we could do as his call, plus the combat awareness, which is 10. We say it's an everyday, which means he needs to roll 3s. 10. So 16 plus 10, that's 26. 26 is in the incredible. As they turn the corner, Owen grabs Timu by the collar and sort of pulls him back around the corner, and they sort of lean out and they have a look and they don't notice. Now we've got Timu will roll streetwise, see if he can work out what's going on. So he's got a 15. 15 is a difficult one. So he will suss out that he recognises it's the Vilenchko Syndicate, and they are going to decide. So this is some. So this is some pharmaceuticals. So what did this say? Antidote medicine are being held up. Vilenko. This might come in handy later on, and so they're going to go round. They're going to make streetwise 17. 17 is a professional role, so instead they're going to backtrack and they'll go around a different way to go into where the Steel Girls are. Now, how much did the Steel Girls say they were going to pay for this job? 2 grand, 2,000. Is that 2,000 each? Well, they didn't do. Job pays 1,000, so that would be 1,000 each. They're getting 2,000 for the whole lot. So they'll get 2 grand for the whole lot. Well, that's all right. So they're going to go and see. Oh, hold on. And what is? Let's do percentage wise. There's a 75% chance that the clothes that Timu borrowed for Owen got damaged in being cut up. 69, yes. So as Timu's going to take, has got a bundle of the clothes, they go round. They're going to go down into the Steel Girls. It's a basement bar, goes down some stairs. It's very neon lit, based on the fact that it's very shiny steel countertops. The stairs are all steel. Everything has been polished up. There's a very cybernetically enhanced girl on the doors. Maybe Miriam, actually, I think Miriam is going to use this money to try and send, because Owen needs therapy, basically. Yeah, so they're on the doors. We will have a rep roll between Owen. Owen has a rep of 0 at the moment, I do believe. So let's see, has Owen been here before? We'll go, there's a 30% chance he has been here before. No, so Owen's new here. This is the first time Owen's been here. Timu clearly has been here before. The woman on the door, who is massive, built like a brick house, armoured up. We would use a more veteran thing. We'll give her a reputation of, what have we got? Rep chart on the screen, on the DM screen. There should be a rep chart on here, and there isn't. I'm going to have to add one. So we'll give her a rep of 2. That's why she's on the door. So she is going to have a rep of 2. She will have a cool of, so that would be, we'll call them a lieutenant area. So same as a security officer. It says a security officer here at lieutenant level would have a rep of 2. Oh, a cool of 4. Let's give her a cool of 4, a rep of 2, which gives her a 6. Owen has a cool of 6 and a rep of 0. So yellows is her, blues is Owen. Owen is basically going to try and face her down and see if he can get her to bounce. So what was Owen? Owen is blue. Owen gets a 6, she gets a 5. So Owen, basically, Owen's got a body of 8. So Owen's got a high body. What's we got our security officer? 7. Okay. So we'll say that Owen is going to come in act the big one, and he's going to attempt to get to the door. She is going to sort of, because of this call roll, suss him out a bit and allow him to come through instead of trying to pat him down or cause any issues. So Owen has sort of won a social stand down. Timu will be saying to him, why do you have to do that? Why did you do that? We've come here to get paid. We don't want to cause trouble before we've even got paid. At least wait till we've got the cash transferred. Once we've got the creds transferred, you can kick up as much fuss as you like, as long as I've got out, but not beforehand. So they'll go in, they'll go and speak to, they'll ask to see if Neo Shadow is around, and of course she's about, because she's the leader and she's probably the owner. We'll say that she owner of the cybernetic eclipse. So she also owns the cybernetic eclipse, and they're gangbangers, and so she will go, a booster gang. She will come out to meet, and they'll all have a drink together. Timu is going to ask Owen to keep his mouth shut. Now she, I think, is going to try and underpay, because though they threatened, they didn't plant the evidence that they said they were going to plant, and there was a lot of mess in doing it, but he did get scared. So we will do, let's see, persuasion. We will have her make a, let's see if I can find someone to be her. All right, we're going to use Breacher from page 12 of the Danger Girls dossier, DGD, as Neon Shadow. Breacher is a Lieutenant Solo Combat Aware 4. And that's what we'll say that Neon Shadow is. So Neon Shadow has a persuasion, a base of 10. So she has a persuasion base of 10. Timu has a persuasion base of 11. Timu is going to try and use human perception first to try and suss out. So Timu has his enhanced audio systems. So I'm heavily using the complementary skill rolls. Enhanced audio systems of giving a +2, giving a 12. So Timu can try and suss out. So Neon Shadow, so she has both arms are cybernetically replaced. She's wearing a cut-off leather waistcoat. She is heavily muscled. What's her body? 7. That's good. So she's leanly muscled but nimble. If we're using this, does he have? Okay, so she's got speedwear. So due to speedwear, it means that she moves very fast. She seems to have fast reflexes. She is carrying a heavy pistol on her hip, but they're all leather and steel, aren't they? So her arms have got no covering over it. It's all the bare steel. It's all incredibly highly reflectively shiny. She doesn't have cybernetic eyes. She has got combat scars, which she's kept on just to increase her reputation. And she and Timu is going to attempt to make a human perception roll, which we'll call difficult, a 15, to see if he can get a +1 to persuasion. Yep, he does. He gets a 19. So he can suss out that she's going to try and underpay. So if we were DMing it, we would say to Timu's character, she looks like she's going to underpay and she doesn't want to pay you. So we'll give you a +1 to your persuasion roll because he can tactic it that way. So he gets an 11, +1, a 12. She has a base of a 10. She will be yellows, he will be blues. So blues, so he comes out at a 20, she comes out at 12. So they talk to each other for a bit. They start to have a drink together. Did we get, so maybe, no, Timu doesn't have a contraceptive implant. According to this character, she does. So he might actually try he might try chatting her up. Let's give, what should we give for that? Conversation. He's going to do a conversation roll. It's going to be professional quality needed. 10, he has as well. All right, so he's rolled a 25. So the Timu's character will just attempt to do, and then she is going to be very, very all right with it, but say I don't. Sorry, Timu. I like you as a street, like you're an awesome fixer, but I don't roll that way. It's all the same. But she will end up actually paying them the full $2,000, which she wasn't going to. And whilst they're sitting there, so they spend a few hours there chatting. And whilst they're there, several runners come in, and she takes a few calls on her agent. And during that time, that's where we will be told. She will warn Timu that due to that going wrong, the word has gone out that Miriam completely messed up the hack of the club, which I can't remember what the name of the club was. What was the name of the club? It was the executive club. Club Atlantis. Completely messed up the hack of Club Atlantis and left a lot of trails behind, which has been identified that it was Miriam, and the solo, which it protects 24/7, is now out, and there's not sort of money out on them, but for information of their whereabouts, they're being sought after, so they should stay low. Owen, of course, will hear this and say, he ain't nothing much. Whoever he is, we'll take him. Don't worry about it. And so the word has gone out that Miriam is being hunted. So now we want to roll. So they got paid their $2,000 anyway. That gets transferred across. So Timu has the money in his account, and he will then distribute the money to everybody else. But now we need to roll for our development 2. So what will happen after the cliffhanger? So basically, next session we will have them probably maybe come here or go somewhere else. We'll see what the next development is, and that might lead them to have another job. And if they've got another job, they might be going to sort of sort out for the run. So let's go. We are on a development. Blues. 92, a turnabout, page 406. Oh, that might lead quite nicely. Page 406, turnabout. One member of the opposition decides for their own reasons to aid the crew. Classic example of this would be the underling who betrays the antagonist in order to get their job, or the opponent who joins the neon-drenched because they fall in love with one of them. To balance the odds with the crew has been reduced in strength and needs and support. That works quite nicely. So we will have so this development is turnabout. Now 24/7 is in the danger dossier. Does 24/7 have anyone 24/7 works with who might want to say that this? We know it's not Miriam. It was all made up to try and make 24/7 seem more important, which means that we might then be able to have another netrunner or something that we need to go up against to and also we might give everyone, because of that whole charming thing, as I just think of it, everyone gets +1. Everyone might get +1 rep. I'll do this now because otherwise I'll forget, because we all know how my brain is all over the place. Everyone's going to get +1 rep. Not only did Owen stare down the person at the door, rep event, Steel Girls and door. So everyone gets +1 rep. I mean, Miriam might even have 2 rep because but she did mess up that hack. So she's lucky to get the 1. As we were looking up 24/7. So 24/7. 24/7 is either lieutenant level edge runner. All right, hold on. There's another one here. So we've got 24/7 is a lieutenant level NBN 24/7. Okay, so but there's someone else called Crasher. He's an out and out have camera will travel mercenary. Okay, so Crasher, which is on page 53 of the Danger Girls dossier. He's also a newsman. He's going to give info about 24/7. And I'll leave it at that because I might not remember what I said about it's all set up, and so in which case we can roll to see what that information is. So that is development 2. So we've come back, we've got $2,000. Now I think when they get back, so before Wednesday, I think Miriam is going to use the split of the money. If I can just find the agent supplement. So within the agent supplement, all of these you can get off drive-through. They're all free. They're the DLC packs. They are compiled into the interfaces 1, 2, 3 and 4. I think there's 4. But also all bar one article in each of those interfaces is free to download from the Arthalzonian website, or you can get them as packs for the 2023, 22, 21 and 2020 sort of compiled versions of the DLC from drive-through. Now, one of them is called All About Agents, Your Best Friend in Your Pocket, and it mentions some additional software that you can get. One of them being something called Brainwasher. It costs $50 per month, 50 euro bucks per month. It's an app that provides forms of talk therapy, but it can't prescribe medication. Now, if you use it at least 1 hour a day for 7 days immediately before you enter some form of therapy, on a 50% roll, you can complete therapy a day early due to insights. On an odd result, i.e. the other 50%, the therapy requires an extra day because the insights gained by the app block progress. So first off, the therapist has to break through all of the stuff you think is going on before the therapist can deal with actually what's going on. So I think Miriam's going to purchase that for Owen, and Miriam is going to try and get Owen to work on himself. So I'm going to let's have Owen, who I've sort of decided was going to be our main protagonist. Owen is going to track the collective money. I'm going to write it on Owen's sheet. We'll write up here. So they've got $2,000, which drops down to 1950 because Miriam's going to purchase that. All of their stuff is being covered. Is she going to purchase therapy for him now? I mean, he wouldn't mind it either because he's not going to admit to wanting to go for therapy, but he wouldn't mind it because as soon as he gets the speedwear that he wants installed, he goes psycho. There's no way he could. Right, if we just so he wants to get the high-end speedwear. High-end speedwear. Let's see if I can find where the cyberwear is here. She also might need to buy more ice if we need to go up against someone. Oh, we go cyberwear. Okay, high-end speedwear gives you a +2 to your initiative with no cooldown. Although there's a sand. That's the I can't say it. The one beginning with K. Ruskov. That gives you +2 to initiative roll. Now the other one gives you a +3 to initiative roll, but it's got a 1 hour cooldown period. So once you've done once you've had the combat, you can't have that bonus onwards. Whereas the other one, you can just multiple combats +2. That's 4d6 humanity loss, which if you had it installed would be, what's that? So 6, 7, so that's 12. Owen has at the moment 13 humanity left. So that would leave him with 1 point humanity. He's 1 point away from going cyber psycho. He needs therapy. So let's see, what does therapy sort out as? So it'll cost $1,000, 1 week of intense psychotherapy and sessions focused on direct and extreme brain reprogramming, only possible with state-of-the-art pharmaceuticals and a safe environment which to be induced by therapeutic brain dance. You regain 4d6 of their lost humanity, but their max humanity is still reduced by 2 for each piece of cyberware that they've got installed. Not including stuff with serious humanity loss on the installation. So she would want to pay for him to have a full therapy session, which he would begrudgingly go and do, but on the quiet be quite happy because he can get more cyberware installed. But that's going to cost $1,000, which she could pay for now, and that leaves them. So she'll pay for that. That leaves them 950. He's going to spend a week. So Owen is going to work on himself for the next week as she's recovering, and they're trying to. Maybe they're going to try and get another job. So next session they might get another job. 1 week. She'd be buying that on the 27th when they get the money. So that would take it to the 4th of October 2045. That's when he's going to go into therapy. He's booked in for the week following the 24th. So hopefully they don't get messed up. So she has spent that money. They come back. Owen and Timu are a bit annoyed that she spent that. So they are going to need to get a job, possibly. So let's see. That's what we'll do. So what we're going to do it as is next session, they're going to go get a job. They're all going to go with Timu to a place to get a job. In the bar, in the cybernetic eclipse. That's where they're going to be hit. They'll be hit by the solo. Now, what would be, so he would count as, because it's a monster would be a cyber psycho. That is a boss. And how do we do this distribution again? One mini boss is 3 edge runners. So 3 edge runners is the 3 of them. They should be able to take on him as a mini boss. And then we'll roll for the new job. They'll get hit as they come out. I'll try and source a map, or I might make a map using the software I bought at PAX. Arkenforge. I bought their software because it projects to a monitor. Thank you very much for watching that. If you're a subscriber, thank you very much for being a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber and you enjoyed that wittering and discussing things all cyberpunk tilted, do please consider subscribing. Thank you very much to the members of the Adventurers Guild. You are all awesome people. Thank you very much to everyone who has supported either a coffee thank you or a super thanks. As I said a couple of days ago, I think, Rolling Solo RPG is the last person to have given the super thanks. I am incredibly grateful to you. Thank you so much indeed. I very much enjoy Cyberpunk Red, so I do apologise if I witter a lot because I get quite excited. But we will rejoin Owen, Timu and Miriam as they will go to the Cybernetic Eclipse next session to attempt to get a job off of the Steel Girls, and we will have a combat with a mini-boss. I am very much looking forward to it. I'll see you then.